I am totally running out of hats. Sue Paget here, and you're watching a special edition of The Change Guru. This is my gray hair adventure where I'm chronicling my journey from stopping dyeing my gray roots and letting my silver flow. I'm on month 8, and so let's unleash the beast. All right, here we go. Let me come in close. So I think it is finally happening. I'm seeing it more and more. Each day it looks a little bit different. There'll be something new happening. Yeah, and I guess the best thing that's happening for me right now is in Australia. It's starting to turn into winter time, which means there's much less humidity in the air, and my hair likes it when it's nice and dry. Not great for the skin, but my hair likes it just fine. Now today I wanted to talk to you about how to face rocking your transitional hair in a social situation. And the idea came up for me because I'm going to a wedding next month. I was at a wedding last month. I was at a birthday party last weekend. And I remember from 8 months ago, before I started to stop dyeing my hair, that every time I had a social event happening or I had an important work situation going on, I would make sure, like with military precision, that I would be sitting in and getting my roots done. I mean, it was bizarre. Like, I would get an invitation, or I would know I had a job on, and we'd be like, okay, I've got a book in to get my hair colored, this day or whatever. It was one of the first things that went through my head. And one of the most freeing things is to not think like that anymore. But still, when you go into these social situations, you kind of wonder, what will people think, because maybe people are seeing you for the first time, and you wonder, what is it going to be like with this new look that I've got going on, especially when you've got a bit of two-toned action happening, and it might look a little bit challenging. So I want to give you 3 ideas of looking at your situation when you are about to go out on the town. And the cool thing about this is it can apply to fancy do's like a wedding or birthday party or graduation. It can apply to date night or going out with friends or going to family reunions. It can even apply to job interviews and how you carry yourself during that kind of time. So anyways, here are 3 cool ways to handle transitional gray hair in public. My first tip is to set an intention. Now, setting an intention means that you actually take responsibility for how you want a situation to play out. So, for example, I'm going to the wedding, and I am thinking my intention for going to this wedding is to celebrate the couple, is to just give as much love as I can to my family who I haven't seen for a long time, and it's just to have a really super fun time. That's my intention, plain and simple. You'll notice I didn't say anything about my hair. It has nothing to do with my hair. It's just all about my attitude. So you can take the idea of setting an intention and apply it to everything. You can wake up in the morning and say, I intend to have a really great and productive day. And you would be surprised how setting an intention actually unfolds. It's a way you can control a situation, it's a way you can value add for a situation, but most of all, it's a way you can take responsibility for something that you're going to do. You can decide how you want something to play out. So setting an intention is so important when it comes to fronting up in transition. A second helpful tip for going into a social situation is to just be very clear on what your boundaries are. It's important in this kind of time when you're feeling a little bit vulnerable to not be too sensitive to what people say, but just to be very clear with yourself of what is appropriate and what crosses the line. So how do you deal with boundaries? And this is especially a good one if you have to go to family reunions or with people that tend to push your buttons. You can decide ahead of time, hey, I'm not going to spend time with this person, or, I'll give them a chance, but if they start crossing the line, I'm just going to gently, elegantly remove myself from a situation. It might be just limiting the amount of time that you're somewhere. But it is a way of kind of preempting difficult people in your life. And I think that boundaries is a really, really important aspect to consider in all areas of our life, because many of us weren't brought up with the idea that we can have boundaries with family members or with friends. We have kind of might let people cross a line that doesn't feel right for us, but we don't say anything because we just simply don't know how to react to it. So once you start thinking about boundaries, what is right for you, and what the area where no one can really cross, it can help you decide ahead of time how to react. So that's a good one to have in your arsenal. Know what your boundaries are going to be. This is a cool one. Appreciate the opportunity to stretch yourself. Now, it doesn't matter if you are going gray or thinking about going gray because you are allergic, or you just don't want to sit in the chair anymore, or you like the look of it. Whatever your choice for going gray, you do have to go through a transitional period that makes you feel sometimes a little squirmy. And it is doing something that is, it's something that's a little bit different from the rest of society. So it's normal to feel kind of these feelings of uncertainty and insecurity. But what if, instead of wanting to push them aside, you actually realize you're in the middle of something quite cool. You're in the middle of a quest to get somewhere, and rather than putting it away, thinking about actually appreciating it just changes the whole thing and makes you feel like, wow, I'm in the middle of a journey right now. This is actually great. Now, I first came about this idea by, some of you probably know that I've gone back to school, and I have to do these final exams, and sometimes, I get really nervous before the final exam. But what I do is I just stop myself for a moment and I say, hey, it's so awesome that I have this opportunity to study, awesome that I have this opportunity to stretch myself and take this final exam. I'm going to have fun with it. This is really cool that I'm doing this completely random thing. So that's the same way that you look upon your hair, rather than wishing this time away where it's challenging or wobbly, thinking, wow, I'm doing something for a higher purpose, and I'm in the middle of it right now, and I'm living it right now. For me, thinking that way really helps change my mind about it, and actually helps me stand a bit taller when I know that I am willing to do something. I'm willing to stretch myself. So those are 3 ideas that I'll be carrying along with me when I go to a wedding or any time where I have to, front up with the transitional gray hair. How about you? Do you have anything coming up? A wedding, a graduation, a birthday party, a job interview that you're going to have to rock up with some, regrowth happening? If so, I've got a question. I'd love to know, what is your intention going to be for that day? You can post it below. I'd love to hear about it. Now, have you subscribed to my videos? If not, subscribe right here, push the button. I do these midlife videos every single week, and I don't want you to miss any. Okay, that's it. It is month 8. I'm feeling good. I'm really thinking about these 3 things right now, but I'll tell you, it's funny, when I think about this time last year, I could never imagine that I would be doing this, and I'm really so privileged to be able to share the adventure with you. All right, until next time, take care, and I look forward to seeing you. High on the hill was a lonely girl to lay, odelay, odelay,